What's up, family? All right. So the title of this financial forecast is "I Am That I Am, Hotep Joseph." I am that I am, Hotep Joseph. The greatest king of Egypt was Joseph. Joseph. The Bible, the Joseph in the Bible, the greatest king of Egypt was Joseph. Because Joseph's spiritual connection with God was so great that the king took a backseat to Joseph and let Joseph rule, and the king received the financial blessings as a result of Joseph's spiritual rulership in Egypt. And Joseph's wife, Asenath, ruled his household. You heard me. Joseph was the high priest of On, and Asenath, Joseph's wife, was the most high lioness, the most high Shiloh lioness of On. And their names, he had a name when he became the governor of the house over the house of Potiphar. Potiphar was the high priest of On. On is the god in Egypt. On is the god in Egypt. When Egypt worshipped the Most High God, the Egyptians' name for the Most High God in Egypt was On. Because in the beginning, God said, "Let there be light." And the Holy Spirit said, "Shine on." And there was sun to rule the day and the moon to rule the night. Every time the sun gave a command, the Holy Spirit, the lioness, said, "Shine on." And it happened. The Holy Spirit touched and agreed. The Holy Spirit breathed the breath of life into everything that the Son of God spoke. And that's the same way Joseph and Asenath ruled Egypt, as Asenath is the original queen. The Egyptian, what the world calls it, is a matrilineal line. And they've been trying to recreate it in the fake Amazonians of the Amazon. They try to claim that the Latinos are the Amazons. They try to listen, they're trying to recreate that which God gave, the birthright that God gave Eve. So Eve, the whole Garden of Eden, the place that they call the Middle East, it's not called the Middle East. It's all Cush. It's the womb of earth. It is the living fountain of life of earth. And the USA is the same thing in the West. The same identical formation in the East with what they call the Middle East. They tried to break it up and split it up between the 10 European tribes, and the French wanted to have this portion, so they called it. Ain't none of that. It's all the Garden of Eden. It's all Kush. From where they call it Saudi Arabia, that was the original where the tree of life and all of that was. All the way down to the bottom, what they call South Africa, wherever the Nile River touched, wherever the Euphrates and the Tigris and the Gihon and the Pison rivers. Listen, extending out of the tree of life, it said flowed, a river flowed from the tree of life. So wherever you find the rivers, the water of life, that represents the womb. The womb of man, the woman, Cush. No man can rule Cush. Cush has her own separate crown, and it is above the man's crown. That's why the Messiah allowed them to put a crown of thorns on his head, because his wife's crown is greater than his. And anybody telling you anything different is ignorant. And God sent Paul to the ignorant Romans because he knew Satan was going to use the ignorant Greeks and Romans to subjugate the Hebrews and sell you this fake Aryan white supremacy, this fake male supremacy, this fake feminist movement. All of these fake movements, none of them, they all come from the same satanic place. An inversion of the original Joseph's wife, who hadn't gone into slavery, who wasn't in prison, who was the birthright heir to her father's priesthood, ruled, and Joseph assisted her rulership. And the moment that Ramses the First and Nefertiti tried to put Ramses at that, that's how Egypt fell from grace. The movie The Ten Commandments, Ramses' father, Ramses the First, was the first to, he was the one that the Bible says, there came a king that knew not Joseph and knew not Joseph's God. That's Ramses' father. And what did he do? He killed all of the babies in Goshen. See, when you don't care about women, you don't care about children. When you want to receive the worship, this is 400 years after Joseph and Asenath. Once again, Joseph was number 2. Asenath was number 1. And the king and his queen, they said, we going to answer to the priesthood because we don't have no answer for this famine. Remember, that was the covenant and the vow that the king of Egypt had to make in order for God to send a deliverer. He had to say, listen, I will put your spiritual covenant above my earthly crown. If you bless my land and bless my country and give us back what you gave Noah. We need a Noah's Ark intervention to save the world. And God said, if you put back the marriage unit and the priest and the king in their right place, by all means. Let me tell you how deep this covenant is. When Joseph was sold into slavery, Joseph didn't go into the auction block. They delivered Joseph directly to Potiphar because Joseph came from a high priest. Joseph's daddy was the high priest of the land that he lived in. And the people who his brothers sold him into the slavery own the world's economy. Our ancestors, the Midianite kings, own the world's economy. It's called the Queen's Highway. The Havilah Road, Queen's Highway. Do you know what the symbol of the Havilah Road, Queen's Highway is? The PFA Falcon. The royal symbol. That you could buy or sell, that you could trade, that you could move freely, was the royal falcon. And then when 400 years after Joseph, and listen, God blessed them people when they put the divine order of heaven on earth properly, God blessed them. And they saved the whole world. And all around you right now, you have Ramses the First. You got a Ramses the First in the Vatican. You got Ramses the First in Barack and Michelle Obama. You got Ramses the First in Joe Biden. My pops talking about in Joe Biden, we have a reprieve. My father's generation still believes in this Democrat and Republics. They still believe in this democracy thing. That's why y'all slaves to it. The very Bible that they preach from shows that unless the earthly governments align with God, famine, pestilence, when you are out of alignment, and Pharaoh knew it. So when Pharaoh heard that he had somebody in a prison cell that had the visions and communicated with the Most High God, remember, my people perish for lack of vision. The world was perishing. My people perish for lack of vision. Only God's true prophets have vision. Then when they checked the background of the dude who had vision, he was imprisoned from the priesthood of Potiphar. Potiphar was the high priest of On. So why did the Midianite traders take him from Jacob and deliver him to Potiphar? Because Joseph had the same position in his dad's house, managing his father's wealth. His dad had the same high priestly ministry with the Most High God that Potiphar had in Egypt. These are the two sons of Noah. Egypt represents Ham, and Ham's wife was the one daughter in the ark with Eve's birthright. Cushites have always been a just be Eve crown. Adam served for 2,000 years, 936 years. He elevated his wife, put the crown on his wife. And because he did, Seth, his son Seth, and Seth's whole line produced Enoch, Methuselah, Noah, Jared. Seth's whole line was filled with righteous, perfect men on earth who all, like their father, got a bride, crowned their bride. So, that's why we call ourselves aliens in this nation. Because they have inverted this covenant. So let me take you to Hollywood, because Hollywood is the magic wand that they use to invert it. So when we talk about finances, I'm going to take you to Eddie Murphy's movie, Trading Places. They always use a trinity, all right? So, Trading Places. We're going to go back to the future, ITB. Anytime you hear me say ITB, that's in the beginning. So we're always going throwback to the future. You know the movie, Michael J. Fox, Back to the Future with the car, Time Machine. So we're going to go back to the future. And all of these places where our ancestors had it right financially and was rewarded. And then we're going to do that. Then we're going to come back to the ITE. In Transformers Everlasting Life. In Transformational Everlasting Life. In Transfiguration Everlasting Life. In the beginning, in Transformers You know the movie The Transformers? Trading Places, Transformers. He said the first should be the last and the last should be first. Transformers, Trading Places. The people faking like they wealthy right now, they're gonna be the impoverished people of Earth. I'm gonna show it to you. Why? Because it's a crime of what they have done. A crime against divinity of what they've done to get the wealth that they have. And they cannot hold on to that wealth because of the bloodshed and the crimes and the violations that they've done. So in order to win, all we have to do is remain flawless from those crimes and violations, and then take all of the resources, cleanse them up from being defiled in the hands of unlawful owners, trading places. What happened at Eddie Murphy's Trading Places? Eddie Murphy got wind, got information, and he used additional information to understand that two brothers had made a wicked bet. They was just playing with his life. Washington, D.C. has been playing with your life. The Europeans have been playing with the lives of everybody in the world. Just like the Duke Mortimer, the Duke brothers. Duke means, to the Europeans, it means king. Where we come from, we the Dons. The Don Wu Don. The greatest of the kings of the East. Every European Duke has copied the Dons, has tried to copy the Dons. So remember, Trading Places, two brothers on Wall Street make a bet that they could take an ignorant black clown who Eddie Murphy is and making in real life, ignorant black clown, and make him rich. And they could take their top guy on Wall Street and turn him into nothing, which all of them truly are in real life. Trading Places tells the truth about this financial situation, about the racism, about Wall Street, about your federal government. Trading Places is exactly what they've done. They're playing with your lives. Only because you ignorantly have settled for the ignorant black life that these Wall Street bankers have defined for you. That's the plot of Trading Places. But of course, as long as they throw y'all black folks a carrot, and as long as it looks like Eddie Murphy in the end is a winner, you're gonna celebrate Eddie Murphy while you wallow in the ignorance that he wallowed in his whole life. And so the movie ends with him having a successful ending, but you don't have no success. But as long as the characters that portray you on film have a successful ending, you're willing to go back home to your ignorant cesspool life. Back to the Future takes you back to the future and shows you that the Europeans have no root, that African Americans have no root. There's no such thing as an African American nowhere in history. There's no such thing as an African nowhere in history. Back to the Future takes you back. Then we go back and I show you the root, and I show you what the root looks like. And then I bring it back to the future and show you that we do the same thing then. So we're going to guarantee to get the same outcomes. And everybody fake imposter. Either you got to go back to the beginning and start all over, and apply the principles of our root family group over a series of years and be faithful to that commitment. And then when we decide to come and do a fruit inspection to see if you match, then we may decide at that point. We don't have to allow anybody to come into any of our family circles. Why? Because all we're required to do is share the blueprint of how to transform. Then you could go directly to God and get whatever he got coming for you. You do not have to be in our circle. I don't have to interact with none of y'all. I don't have to integrate with none of y'all. I don't have to trade with none of y'all. I don't have to speak or communicate. I don't have to get a passport. I don't get permission. We don't listen. You don't even exist, y'all. My job is to come here and tell you how to transform, how to reconnect with the creator. And then whatever he got for you. Now, if my family decides, if somebody in my family, you connected to somebody in my family, and you go through the transformation and the family is willing to do business with you or allow you to eat or whatever, then so be it. I'm going to love you like I love everybody else in my family. But listen, you talking about our country is the melt. You a lie, clown. Unless we acknowledge you, and the Europeans already acknowledge that it's this way. They try and go and get a token person of color for everything that they want to sell. Because unless it got our face on it, it don't count. And going and getting these token black clowns, that ain't us. You still ain't accepted. You can go get Eddie Murphy all day. You can go get these rap clowns all day. You can go get these Hollywood clowns all day. Y'all still Europeans. You can go get Idris Elba all day. He's still a British sellout clown coming and playing like he from Baltimore. Idris Elba couldn't get famous until he came and acted like he was from America. He had the same face. He had the same everything. If you from Europe, it don't count. That's what the whole world say. And y'all fools for not knowing. Idris Elba had to come and get on the wire. All of them clowns over there in Europe, I don't care what they say, they all dying to try and be from the USA. All them cats from Africa, they over here talking crazy. Like, listen, it don't count unless we create it. All of these rap niggas, they don't count. They wasn't in the park and they did not create hip hop. It's a bunch of Revenge of the Nerd clowns going to liberal arts school, trying to learn how to program and trying to learn how to play instruments. It's a bunch of y'all nerds, technical geeks. Then when you learn how to play the instrument, then you want to try and go and get a makeover. You not us. Revenge of the Nerds is Revenge of the Nerds. You've seen the movie. That's what the rap industry is. Revenge of the Nerds. But because they wasn't there, because it is not who they are, they could fool y'all because y'all wasn't there either. That's how the Europeans can fool y'all with history. They weren't there. Nowhere in history. Nowhere. They weren't there. They gotta have pictures of them. All we need is our face. They got to have pictures that say that they was there because they wasn't there. Without the lion lip abomination history books, the whole world would put the Europeans in their right place. And that's what's about to happen. No matter what your shade is, your deeds will show if you are us or not. So now let me show my people the financial blueprint. They want you to believe that this investing in the stock market and cryptocurrency, they want you to believe that this is some old rocket science. First of all, it's a small group of it ain't even a small group of one percenters. They sold the New York Stock Exchange to one man. So it's one man manipulating the stock market. The stock the growth in the stock market is fake. And the same one man and his wife is like a governor or a senator in Atlanta. They sold the New York stock. They've privatized everything, just like they sold NASA to Elon Musk. And y'all so foolish. Y'all don't know nothing about these Europeans and how their colonialism works. So first they get you, they give it to the government so that you become a government dependent. So they go through a series of years where everybody looks for handouts, everybody. So then when they get you dependent on the government, then they switch to privatization, and they call it free markets. But now all of y'all been programmed to be government dependents. So now they could tell you to take a contagion vaccine where none of them, you got school right next to Palm Forge Academy called the Hill School. The Hill School ain't and never shut down. They right here in Pennsylvania. It's called libertarians. Okay? If you look at Rand Paul and his son, Rand Paul and Ron Paul, European liberty is saying to the world, I know we an abomination. I know we brought on the dark age and all that, but give us the liberty to still bring our abomination and integrate with y'all and bring our dark ages there to y'all land. And then they had a nerve. They've been flying a flag, join or die. Yeah, these founding fathers that you claim was a Christian nation. Join or die. Join the Protestant wolves in sheep's clothing, down low in the closet, Roman Catholic Church, or die. They brought the colonialism is Third World War and the Crusades brought to the US under evangelical Protestantism. That's what colonialism is. It's the Crusades. The same thing they did all over there. They came over here with a flag, join or die. Oh, they didn't put that in the history books, huh? I'm gonna show you the flags. Join or die. These Seventh Day Adventists talk about mark of the beast. It's always been the moment that the European General Conference of Seventh Day Adventist Church landed on the shore. When they filed their entity, mark of the beast. The moment that the evangelical Christians landed, it was mark of the beast. When they burned Martin, when they burned the individuals that exposed them in Europe, it was mark of the beast. It's always been mark of the beast. So what about the economy? So let me take you to this present day cryptocurrency. So every day I'm gonna take y'all to this cryptocurrency market and I'm gonna expose. So the top coin right now is Bitcoin, and it's only worth a measly $47,000. You heard me. One coin is worth $47,000. I'm gonna show you coins right now. They have coins right now in circulation that are worth $1 million to $10 million right now. Cryptocurrency is not new. They just had a underground market all this time, and now for the first time they brought the cryptocurrency market online. I'll give you an example. The Buffalo nickel. They got some Buffalo nickels that's worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. So they have a market where individuals collect coins based off of the dastardly deeds that the Europeans did. Battle of Bunker Hill. They paid the soldiers to go and the pirates to come and fight. So the coin that they issued to the pirates that came and slaughtered people, they make a collector's item. And so now today, that coin that they paid the pirates with is called cryptocurrency. Why? It's blood money. Where you put the dead when you bury them in a crypt. Blood money. It's a blood money economy. Do we take money out of a blood money economy? Of course. Jesus turned over the tables of the money changers, right? He took the blood money out of their hands and dared them to say something, and he gave it to the poor. That's exactly what we're doing. With all of the economies, we take their blood money, we turn over the meaning. We don't allow them to conduct the business that they want to conduct. We don't just lay down and go by the narrative of their finances that they want to tell us. They've already confessed that they rob from the poor and give to the rich. And then they say they're going to let the crumbs trickle down financially on the dogs. We're going to let the crumbs trickle down on you dogs financially. Ronald Reagan, trickle down economics. We're going to rob from you first. How they rob from you? In taxes. Dr. Martin Luther King told you they was investing in the peasants from Europe. So I said we're gonna have our cake and eat it too. We're gonna leave Queen of England and the United Nations and all of, and the European Union and the African Union all up here, and we're gonna hold on to the fake European wealth, and then we're gonna send our forfeit bastard children, the children that we done had in brothels with prostitutes and all that. We're gonna send them. We're gonna leave our dukes and our heirs over all of the wealth, the Buckingham Palace wealth. We're gonna let I can't even name the son of the Queen of England, except the little misfit Harry Clown nigga and his coon, his Sambo wife. Yeah, Meghan Markle's a Sambo. Yep. And that's how they do it. Remember the Rothschilds? What they tell you the Rothschild did. They took one of their five sons and they send them, they always send the branches of their banks to all of the major hubs of the world. Because they following our example. The Phoenicians did the same thing. All they doing is following our trade routes. And y'all letting them get it off. Who was the Phoenicians? or the Midianites. I just told you the story of Joseph. They sold him into slavery. And when they got Joseph, because they had done so much trade with Jacob, Israel, they knew that his son was the prince of the high priest. So they didn't even put him on an auction. They didn't even give him an opportunity to end up in the slave pits. They took him right to Potiphar, and Potiphar was the high priest in Egypt. Jacob or Israel was the high priest outside of Egypt, and Potiphar was the high priest inside Egypt. And the Midianites' father, Jethro, was the Midianite king on the border of the promised land, was the Midianite priest. He had Jacob, Potiphar, Jethro, Shem, Noah's son, had three sons: Shem, Ham, no, Japheth, Shem, and Ham. Japheth is the oldest. So Jethro will be Japheth. Joseph or Israel would be Shem, the middle son, who has no covenant, had to be circumcised in order to show, okay, now God accepts you. Only Shem was without a covenant. Ham's wife had the birthright, and Ham is covered by his wife's birthright. Japheth had the first fruit blessing, and Japheth's wife was covered by the first fruit blessing. Shem and his wife had no blessing. They had to be covered by God and the Holy Ghost. Without God and the Holy Ghost, Shem and Shem's wife and the descendants of Abraham have no access to the Creator. Where on the other hand, Japheth, the firstborn of Noah's son, God turned to him and said, I will expand your territory because you inherit your father's perfect inheritance on earth. And to Ham's wife, you, the Messiah that I promised before the flood, it's no way to have a Messiah unless the heir of Eve comes out of the ark and is in the land. There could be no Mary without Ham's wife. It was only two blessings in the ark. That's you don't need cryptocurrency. That's real money. That's the real money of heaven and earth. Cryptocurrency is fake. But we don't care what the market is. Anybody trying to get any type of money, we're going to come and have dominion over every market. All right? So let's take you to the cryptocurrency. So Bitcoin today, $43,789. Let me give you the history of Bitcoin. Let me give you the history. So 6/9/2020 put the first $77 in the Bitcoin. 6/9/27. Way back then, it was less than $9,000 a coin. In just 1 year, it's gone from less than $9,000 a coin to present day, today, $43,000 a coin. If you had to put $1,000 in there, and we've been telling people, so the reason that we come in here is because all our people need to listen. There's a special event coming up in the next year or so. I ain't gonna tell you when, where you can still take 1,000, 2,000. Really, you need four times what it took for us to do what we did back in there. $4,000 you still could see millionaire status in Bitcoin. And we're going to show you how to do it in Bitcoin. And right now, Ethereum is going to go from where it is. Ethereum is the second coin. I'm only going to deal with two coins. I'm only always going to deal with two coins. The king said you got to have two witnesses. You only need two to be wealthy. All right. Chasing after Elon Musk, Dogecoin, and all that, that's a decoy. That's a diversion. So, if right now before your eyes, I just showed you back in 2020, Bitcoin was $9,000. Today it's $43,000. So, Ethereum is $3,000 per one coin. And when Ethereum goes from 3,000 to 43,000, where Bitcoin is today, those of you who have your money in a bank, instead of having your money sitting, there's no bank in the world. No bank in the world is as stable as Bitcoin and Ethereum. These are the two banks of the world. Why? All of the banks of the world don't have no money. Here's a clip about Bank of America getting another bailout in secret. All of the big banks have gone to the federal government, and all of the printing of the money of the federal government is for the big banks. They don't have no money. They done spent all of their money. They are the biggest crooks and criminals. They embezzle money. They party with your money. The real crooks, the real people who launder money are your big bankers. HSBC, which your HSBCUs is named after. Yeah. Here's another clip. HSBC, they was the ones who laundered the money for the godmother, Grisella Blanco. And now VH1 got her son and all of these other Colombian and Latin American drug kingpin. Now they gave him a TV show, and now they smuggling the dope into the country as movie stars now. But they got a fake rap police unit that locks black. You don't see you okay, so every black rapper that you know, NBA Youngboy, every Lil Wayne, except their European white boy Drake, he don't got to go to jail, huh? Meek Mills go to. These are all conjugal visits. They go, they a conjugal visit. They the chick inside for 6 months, a year, 2 years. They go put on the dress and the panties and the high heels. The 76ers owners and them, they fly in to sample the product. The Wizards of Oz, they fly into Oz. The Wizards of Oz, they fly into Oz for the conjugal visit. Then the rapper gets to come out. Now they a global icon. They get to go to a whole nother level. After they go and they put on the panties and the heels, they go into Alcatraz and they the conjugal visit. Understand, that's exactly what they are. Every black rapper, they do it. It's in their contracts called the 360 deal. Lawyer Cohen, Rick Rubin are the biggest pervert and you letting Puff and Jay-Z recruit your sons and daughters and feed them to these animals, and you talk about they successful, you look up to them when you got an economy right here that you could be investing in and multi-millions of dollars. Yeah, listen, they use Jay and Puff in them, and then instead of you investing in a vehicle to put them out of the land and put them out of business and put them out of the country forever, to send them to the caves where they came from, and then be able to take your wives and children around the world in galley van. No, y'all want to live vicariously through they fake forms of entertainment media, and y'all want to dress like them, and so y'all putting on skirts. Y'all want to look like them, so y'all putting on tight pants, and y'all letting men tell you that it's natural and it's normal. Okay, while Donald Trump, he's sleeping with all of y'all clowns, but he giving all of the wealth that you should have to his 8-year-old son, Barron. And we taking everything out of Barron's mouth. We taking everything out of Ivanka's mouth. Everything out of Jared Kushner's mouth. Don't none of them get to eat. Biden, Trump, they from the same exact family. Make sure one of y'all tell my pops. It's no different. It's never been a difference between a Democrat and a Republican. You cannot be in the White House unless you're from the British family line. Every U.S. president is a direct family member of the British family. Every U.S. president, black, white, we got a reprieve because Biden isn't all. Biden is the worst. Barack Obama is the worst. He's the worst British agent 007. Brokeback Mountain, log cabin stabbing Democrat that there's ever been. So you got two vehicles. I'm gonna prove it to you. I was looking at the same scenario. My research led me first 2018, January 1st, 2018. I saw a video on YouTube, and a gentleman said, if you got $1,000, here are the every year they got a list of new cryptocurrencies that if you invest in them now, you could become a millionaire in 12 months. This is the list from 2018. I'm going to read you. This is the list. I wrote it down. Once again, Bitcoin was less than $3,000 then. So he said Verge. This is January 1st, 2018. Verge, BitConnect, Rainblocks, NLC2 coin, and the Pivx coin. 5 coins. The Verge coin, the BitConnect coin, the Rainblocks coin, the NLC2 coin, and the Pivx coin. 5 cryptocurrencies. He said if you have $1,000, how many of y'all blew $1,000 in 2020? How many of y'all blew $1,000 in 2019? $1,000 in 2018. That's $4,000 that you blew. $4,000 that you blew. A lot of y'all blow way more than that every year. If you had to put $4,000 on that, it's 4 times what I'm about to read you. So just the $1,000. This is what each one of them did with $1,000. I watched it the whole year. I still got the same paper. I'm gonna keep this paper forever. So the bottom on the list, the number 5, Pivots, the $1,000 investment that he made. He showed it to us. He made the investment. He was telling you, this is the investment I'm doing. Da, 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 da. Boom. So 2,100% in 12 months. That $1,000 in the pivots went up 2,100%. So what is the dollar amount of that increase? $2,100,000 off of $1,000 in this coin. $2,100,000. That was the 5th runner-up. The 4th runner-up in LC2, $2,900. It went up 2,900%. So the $1,000 made $2.9 million in 2018 in 12 months. $1,000 turned to $2.9 million. Ray blocks, $1,000 in that coin went up 3,270%. That's the increase. And so that $1,000 in 12 months at the end of the year was $3,270,000 off of $1,000. This is the type of wealth that these same Europeans that's telling you not to invest in Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a scam. They put in millions of dollars in it. That's a crime. Bill Gates, who already had billions, was publicly during this time telling people Bitcoin's a scam while personally investing in it. He down with a company called Seek. So this whole time he telling the poor people, because he don't want the poor people who he know got $1,000 and could change their life and compete with him for wealth. So the whole time he's investing in this while he's going around the thing saying, listen, it's a scam, it's a fraud, it ain't gonna be here. Boom, 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 boom. So how much did they make when they put millions of dollars in it and told you not to invest in it? That's a criminal. Warren Buffett did the same thing. Warren Buffett went through the banks that he invested in on Wall Street, and then he had the banks invest while he was publicly saying, as a private individual investor, I'll invest in Bitcoin. But you investing in a bank that owns 96% of the new cryptocurrencies. So the profits that you get, so is he telling the truth or is he lying? He's a lying lip abomination. He's a criminal. You could have changed your family's future in 2018 with $1,000. Pine Forge Academy. I went to Pine Forge Academy. I've been going to Pine Forge Academy with a business plan for them to use cryptocurrency and a digital asset called, I ain't even gonna tell you what the asset is. I'm gonna make y'all come and get it. I'm gonna make y'all individual parents. If your child is in the choir, do not allow Pine Forge to pronounce your child around as some slave while they let the General Conference of Seventh-day Adventists go down and make millions and millions of dollars with the Buccaneers and the Orlando Magic and Walt Disney World. through Florida hospital system, the same Florida hospital system that's pushing a contagion instead of the 8 laws of health. The same Florida hospital system that has blood on its hands like Joseph Cheatham of the class of 1993. His name don't even exist. You could wipe him off the record. You could wipe the clown off the record. And I dare y'all to roll that nigga out in 2022 with that same contagion. Listen, your headmaster, he don't exist. Yo, we putting in a whole new, we cleaning house. The blood of my mother, Angela Leggett, is on your head. Pumping a contagion instead of the 8 laws of health that God gave you. You listen, God said, when he gives you a talent, if you bury your talents in the sand, he will take the one from you and give it to another and cast you out where there's weeping and gnashing of teeth. Joseph Cheatham, you are being cast out like Lucifer out of the kingdom. Your headmaster, you are being cast out at Allegheny East Conference. Totally. Pine Forge Academy has no connection to the Allegheny East Conference. You're dead. Cast out. We're going to take that little nice, pristine building where all of y'all niggas getting paid for nothing. These clowns don't even come to work. They just like Washington, D.C. The Allegheny East Conference is Washington, D.C. For years, all over the country. The black church, these niggas get paid for nothing. Just like your congressmen and senators get paid for nothing. The Allegheny East, listen, yo. This one of the most corrupt institutions I ever see. This is one of the most, listen, they don't know how to conduct business. The institutions go on the ground, and the white institutions have rigged your black institutions to not bring forth prosperity to you. So to you individual parents, and I got parents in the boys' dorm and the girls' dorm, and I will not disclose who we working with. If you're not in our circle, we don't know you. You're not a falcon, yo. You have dishonored our mothers who have invested, given their lives. They died for y'all to be Roman Catholics under the name of the Seventh-day Adventists. We don't know you, yo. So you got a so-called woman at the conference office who used to be principal, Olivia Poole is her name, Cynthia Poole, something Poole. She over women's ministry now. You can't hold a candle to Minnie McNeil. Can't hold a candle to Minnie McNeil, because Minnie McNeil had a vision. The word says, my people perish for lack of vision. The business plan, don't worry, Oakwood did the same thing to Lloyd Mallory. Lloyd Mallory took a business plan to take a studio to Oakwood University. Listen, this was like 2005, 2006. Lloyd could testify. I ain't making nothing up. We've been at this since that long. I was in my master's program in 2008, 2009, writing the business plan that I wrote specifically to bring to Pine Forge Academy so that we could subsidize tuition. The Roman Catholic Church allows individuals to come to Notre Dame, whatever. They'll raise the tuition to $53,000, $63,000, but they subsidize it so that if you are a part of their denomination, you don't have to pay. In Washington, D.C., Donald Trump, they got an elementary school that they go to in D.C. All of the politicians' kids go to. They got the tuition super high, but you know what? They subsidize the tuition. How powerful the Academy got? How the Allegheny East Conference got schools that have closed when they got a business model? So what? So what? Are the Adventists admitting that they're the tail? That's what they got to admit. That's why they ain't the remnant. God said in Deuteronomy chapter 28, you will be the head and not the tail. You will lend and not borrow. You know what you got? You got the tribe of Dan. The black church is the tribe of Dan. You know when they talk about the diaspora, the lost, Baal worshiping Israelites who always rebelled against God, that's what your the black Seventh Day Adventist church. And Ben Carson, Pops, if you don't understand that Ben Carson and the black Seventh Day Adventist church has the blood of your wife on their hands, it is unnatural for you to have allegiance to individuals who are carrying out an agenda to lower the population by sacrificing people to the god Molech, who God told the children of Israel, do not sacrifice people to the fire god Molech. And your presidents go out to San Francisco every year to continue their Woodstock blood sacrifice to Molech. Every year they've been doing it. It's not new. This is the first time they brought it to a global scale. And because it sounds so far-fetched, but they've been doing this all throughout history. That's why they're banking on you being desensitized when, as long as they say a conspiracy theory. Was it a conspiracy theory when Paul's nephew overheard that individuals took a vow not to eat until they killed him? Was it a conspiracy theory or was it truth? Was it real? The Apostle Paul's nephew heard the men in Israel say, we will starve ourselves until he dead. Then they went to the Sanhedrin and said, yo, call him up to court on this day and we're gonna set an ambush and we're gonna kill him when he's on the road coming to the court date. Was it a conspiracy theory when King Herod heard that the Messiah was born? Was it a conspiracy theory? Or had these black Baal worshipers decided that they're going to worship their gods, and any threat to their worship system, they will kill? Is that a conspiracy theory? No, that's the deeds. That's the historical deeds of Ramses I in Egypt. Kill all of the firstborn in Goshen. Is that a conspiracy theory? Queen Esther heard that Haman on a certain day had already sent a death decree out and said, on Martin Luther King Day 2022, we're going to kill every single child of Abraham in Persia will die. Was that a conspiracy theory? No, that was real. And when she went to her husband and told her husband, and when he investigated, he found out it was real. Is it a conspiracy theory? No. The black Baal worshipers of the world have decided, no matter what, when you try and worship the God of heaven and you allow them to divide and conquer you around Latinos or Americans or West Indians or Asians, you let the Baal worshipers who are in the minority, but because they've pooled their wealth and they've pooled their lawlessness and they've divided you among all of these brand names that they created, 33,000 different Christian denominations. All of y'all talking about you got the truth, and none of them is the truth. None of them. And they know the moment that you join their flocks, they know that they can assassinate you. And because you don't know who you are, you think the Constitution give you authority. No, your marriage covenant and your first fruit blessing and your birthright give you your sovereign birthright authority in heaven and earth. And heaven will move and destroy anything that moves against you. So I just showed you. So after 2018, I got a partner up in Chicago. I'm not going to say his name because I want him to keep getting his wealth and never be taxed. I got a partner up in Chicago who got a group all throughout Chicago. My dad's group is the group that I come publicly because my dad's group and the people that run with my dad is the people who really, really need to see. The people in his generation, they never invested. They really, really need to see. So we do it. With that group, you gotta crawl before you walk. With that group, they ain't ready. They ain't ready to fly. They ain't ready for table food. You gotta give them milk. Milk is $1,000. That's milk. It's impossible not to be wealthy right now. It's impossible. So all we do is we take people and we show people how to open up the account. And if you got a direct deposit, if you got any type of money, do not let them pay you in US dollars. As soon as you get it, when we open up the account for you, put it in Bitcoin and Ethereum. I don't care what they say about, yo, is this financial advice? Listen, this is truth. The powers that be are crooks and criminals. And this is a blood audit. Here is the proof. Less than $3,000 Bitcoin. Put $1,000 in. The top one, Verge, in 2018 alone, brought back $14.2 million. I just want your children. I just want the children in this generation, while your parents is hand to foot and all that, while your parents is struggling and all that. This your fault too. You the one on the internet. All of y'all Pine Forge Academy students. Yes, sir. Okay, I got you. All y'all Pine Forge Academy students. If you on Instagram, if you on TikTok, you on all those social media platforms, you played yourself. I'm gonna show you a 12-year-old that they've artificially manufactured and made into a millionaire. And you got a person who's offering to artificially make you a multi-millionaire. So I'm gonna make this deal with you publicly. Our goal is to invest exclusively in our community, like they unashamedly have extracted from our community and invested in their community. We're not apologizing. We're not sharing. We're not showing no love. The same investments that they have made against us, we will make against them for only us. The same way that they have gone into Africa and tried to extract wealth from the stuff that we've created in America and then go over there and monetize it in Africa. We're going to show them how to really do that. So if you play football, we have a professional football league. And just like in tennis and just like in golf, where teenagers, if they have the skill to go pro, they go pro. Anywhere where they have a professional that at any age has got paid, we're creating our league in the recreation that y'all do the best. And we're going to do the same thing to our family members and our people in our family group who do that sport. We're not following the NCAA. We don't care if you go to the NCAA. If you want to go there and be the slave over there, okay, go ahead. It's too many people from where we come from squalling and wasting away. I would rather pay you as a multi-millionaire from the age of 8 to the age of 16 and know that you ain't going to stick a gun in my daughter's face when she go to college. I'll pay you all day to play football, bro. It's our goal to take 16 million people in the stuff that they squander. It's our goal that by the time they try and do the Olympics in 2024, they won't have no people of color from the United States of America in the Olympic Games. They want to go get the slaves from Africa. And if Africans want to still be European slaves and live in third world and play for national pride, nah, we playing for millions. We don't show up unless we got millions. We don't show up unless we got generational wealth. You can't even watch us. You can't even get a subscription to our league unless you paying for generational wealth. We don't even want you tuning in. We don't want you to be a fan. Go be a fan of the fake leagues that they done watered down. Go be a fan over there. All of you top notch. Listen, I would rather take the speed of all of y'all that's sitting around joining gangs. I would rather put you on the track and run your tongues out your mouth all day, every day. What you need, 10 million? I'll pay you 10 million. Run your tongue out. 12 months out of the year. Run your tongue out. So my 9-year-old can walk safely in Philadelphia, in Brooklyn, in LA. Listen, 10 million is nothing. You listen, all y'all queens that love Beyonce's Homecoming. We gonna do listen, at my school, Pine Forge Academy, my wife was a homecoming queen. My daughter Destiny, we're gonna take her prom, her graduation. It's homecoming. Homecoming. We're gonna put the greatest Broadway musical on for all these 30 years while Pine Forge has wasted the talent of Pine Forge. We're going to take and all of y'all around from DC where the Allegheny East just squandered and threw y'all to the wolves. Any of y'all that could dance, listen, Laresha, Reshi, Andre and Kess Cooper. You got a niece that's dancing? I'm going to show y'all right there in Wilmington, Delaware. Bob Marley was right there in Wilmington, Delaware, working at a Chrysler factory, the same Chrysler factory that my grandfather, Frankie Leggett Jr., worked at. Same factory that my auntie, Betty Red, anybody who worked for General Motors and Chrysler's on the East Coast, Listen, Bob Marley worked in Wilmington, Delaware. In 66, hip hop was born in Trenton, New Jersey. In 66, 10 years before they claimed it in the Bronx. Bob Marley dropped the album in 66 in Wilmington, Delaware. I got a first cousin, Cynthia Mason, who in the same year, 66, was at graduate of Pine Forge Academy. And my mother, Beverly Webb. My mom and her sisters and brothers had their own band. Yeah. Wilmington, Delaware, and Trenton, New Jersey, and Philadelphia, and Newark, New Jersey, where Lauryn Hill and Bob Marley connected. Hip hop was started in 66. Wilmington, Delaware, and Trenton, New Jersey is the home. And I got a daughter, Destiny, that's a direct descendant of Cynthia Mason and Beverly Webb and that group that traveled all over Trenton and all over Philly, same time Bob Marley was. And Resha, you got a daughter that's dancing. Dre and Kes sing. Go check the Rolodex of my peoples from Delaware. Go talk to bro. Go talk to bro. Go talk to Chris Jackson. We've been connected the whole time, yo. And shouldn't nobody keep you and your family from giving your mother the honor and the investment that she put into her church, Sharon Temple in Wilmington, Delaware. We can't give my mama her honor. She gone. But we can give your mama her honor. We ain't talking about no clapping of hands. We talk about the tangible wealth worth her weight in gold. Melody Pittman, mama gone. So Melody and her children supposed to get what her mom put in with my pops. At every last one of my pops' 10 efforts, she was the Bible worker. Y'all can't let these clowns take nothing from y'all. Y'all can't let these clowns take the most pride. Man, Paul Washington, Buzz Mama, listen, man, Buzz Mama is the rock of the Allegheny. They've been taken from these women, giving them nothing in return, and then running around here like they kings. And then they talking about they falcons. They hiring clowns and putting them at our school and talking about they falcons. All right. Y'all already know I don't talk about nothing, yo. Y'all already know. Y'all already know. They done disrespected my sister Terry. My sister Terry got nothing class in 1990. Man, they shut down Palm Forge Academy and disrespected my sister on her 30th year. All right. We're going to redo 1990, 1991, and 1992. And we ain't doing nothing virtual. 1993, when we come through, I'm telling Palm Forge Academy, play with me. Play with us. Play with us. Joseph Cheatham, don't even show up, bro. I don't even know what that name is. I don't even know what that name is. So on the screen, you see the breastplate. Check out this breastplate. This breastplate represents the foundations, the foundation stones under every gate in heaven. Under every one of the gates in heaven, the base of each gate, these 12 stones make the base and the foundation. These are the 12 stones. that the tribes of Israel were supposed to be modeled after, but they failed. But then you see another introduction after Israel of a woman in Revelation 12, clothed with the sun with 12 stars around her head. And the Seventh day Adventists want you to believe that their church is that woman. They a lie. God said, don't you know that your body is the temple of God? Every woman that makes the Hannah vow is that woman. Every woman that makes the Nazarite vow that Mary, the mother of Jesus, made. Every woman that Elizabeth, the mother of John the Baptist. When you make the Nazarite vow, you become that woman physically, tangibly. And they are robbing you and robbing God. And we are exposing them, cutting out the middlemen, and giving y'all what me and my family is given to my wife. So everybody under the sound of my voice, you can line up to get what my wife is going to get. Me and my sons and me and my daughters, we not accepting no nothing. All honor, all glory go to these queens. Everybody else got to bow down or get laid down. This is the seal of God. We are sealing our mother, our wife, our queen, and every mother, wife, and queen, and every princess. We are putting this Revelation 7. If you need a reference, all you false prophets in the Allegheny East, if you need a reference, Revelation 7, God tells his angels, tell the four winds of strife to hold. The contagion, four winds of strife. The financial destruction that they tried to take you through, it got to wait till we done. Go tell the four winds of strife to hold. So everybody that Bill Gates, that Warren Buffett, Elon Musk, Barack Obama, and Michelle Obama are the biggest abominations that we have ever seen in our lifetime. They created Elon Musk. Listen, they gave him $45 billion, yo. When they shut down NASA and they created his SpaceX, he got a welfare check for $45 billion. And they calling him the richest man in the world. If somebody give you a check for $45 billion, are you a good businessman? And then Barack Obama had a nerve to go around and create a nonprofit organization called My Brother's Keeper. And he had little black boys come to the White House. As a slap in the face, he gave $45 billion to Elon Musk and gave the little black niggas in Chicago a picnic. Man, he gave him a picnic, yo. He gave Elon Musk $45 billion. He gave this nigga. I'm gonna show you. This clown gave the bankers. He already gave them a bailout, 2009, 2010. He gave them billions of dollars in bailout. He came back. Listen, he went back to Goldman Sachs. He went back to Goldman Sachs and gave Goldman Sachs $500 million. I'm going to show you that document too. So Barack and Michelle Obama, while Pops talk about the Democrats, we're getting a reprieve. The Catholic attack has always been a liberal one. This is what liberty means. The Antichrist wants freedom to worship Baal. The Democrat platform is liberal. Satan will impersonate an angel of light. So the out the closet Satan platform is the liberal left-hand path, broad way that leads to destruction. And the fake narrow way is the conservative Christian. Satan will impersonate an angel of light. That's Luciferian. Both of these systems are exactly what Herod and the Sanhedrin were doing. And after they stoned Stephen, God killed Herod in the book of Acts, and he exposed in Stephen's rebuke of them, Stephen exposed both of these fake platforms, these philosophies, the ideologies, these sexual and these black magic groups, Pharisees and Sadducees, Stoics and Epicureans, huh? Democrats and Republicans, and there's always a middle group in the middle to make the Trinity. So Herod, his group was the Herodians, the bridge between the bridge between the Greeks and the Romans. The Romans are always the dominant ones. Stoic and Epicurean is the Herodians, the tribe of Dan, the Baal worshiping fallen sons of Abraham. And they've played God's people and they've killed God's people with these three groups since they went into Babylonian captivity. Where did the Pharisee and Sadducee come from? When God gave Moses the instruction for the sanctuary, there's no Pharisee and Sadducee. So when the Son of God was talking against the Pharisees and Sadducees, where did that come from? Baal worship in Babylon. Where does the Sanhedrin come from? Babylonian Talmud. Where does the Seventh-day Adventist Christian denomination come from? The Sanhedrin, the Pharisees and the Sadducees. Satan will impersonate an angel of light, having the form of godliness but denying the power thereof. From this turn away. Stoics, Epicureans, Herodians. Democrats are the Greeks on the bottom who give the worship to Rome sexually. The Stoics are always on the top, receiving worship. And when Herod received that worship in the book of Acts, God killed him dead. And it's two stars, the 5-pointed star, Stephen exposed, the 6-pointed star of Solomon, that the tribe of Dan, the Yiddish tribe of Dan, that means the British from York, the Yiddish tribe of Dan, they're Vikings. They fly the flag, the 6-pointed star of Solomon, that in Acts, it calls that 6-pointed satanic devil star, the star of Remphan. That's Molech. That's another name for Molech. That's the Greek name for Molech, Remphan. And then the Hollywood star on the Walk of Fame, the Hollywood star on your satanic flag of the U.S. is in the same exact rebuke. Right next to the star, the Luciferian star is the 5-pointed star, where Lucifer impersonates an angel of light. That's the 5-pointed star. And then the Herodians turn the 5-pointed star down and it becomes a pentagram. The 10 Commandments, pentagram. And then the 6-pointed star of Solomon got rebuked by God for not being a man after God's own heart like David, because Solomon was an idol worshiper and a Baal worshiper with that 6-pointed star of the Yiddish, the British in York, Vikings, loved that star. God already judged that star like he judged Sodom and Gomorrah. And y'all got a nerve to let the fake Christians, Allegheny East included, talk about we stand with Israel. Of course they do. They love that. They love the sex that goes with that star. Ask any of them dudes up there in the Allegheny East. Of course, we got kings like my pops who've been deceived. That's why Hezekiah, David's son, went back to his father. He went back to the crate. He dug in the crates and he found his father's blueprint, and then he cleansed the sanctuary. And I'm leading my son class of 2015, heir to the throne, a true falcon, to clean house in Pond Forge, to clean house. Every institution that the Allegheny East let go under, we're going to use it to clean up our people. Listen, if you got children in public school anywhere in the United States of America, the Pope in Rome has claimed every child under the UN Millennium Development Goals. And in 2020, May, they went and they signed a pact and a compact with the Pope. The whole world, every educational system, if your children are in any school other than the schools that we control, your schools have given your babies over to the Pope. And Pine Forge is trying to do that too. And Oakwood is trying to act like they got the authority to do that too. What's done in the dark shall be brought to the light. So you're going to have to come and get this fire. In order to take the mark of the beast, you're going to have to come get this fire in front of everybody publicly and get consumed, homie. You ain't got a man in the Allegheny East. You ain't got a man in DC. You ain't got a man nowhere that got no authority to divert the desires of my wife's heart for her children. They're going to go to these institutions, and God said there is nothing new under the sun. So, to the alumni, I ain't talking about no alumni association. To Norman Miles, RA, head RA, in my freshman year, you said there was a standard. You said there was a street code. To Bryan Street, head RA, my sophomore year. Katari, Buzz, Bryan Street, Mike Broyles, you followed up my sophomore year and said you already know the code. So if any of y'all allow them to give my 9-year-old, who will be there in a couple years, anything new, listen, they throwing your character under the bus, homie. I don't care nothing about no fake alumni association that we ain't never seen. We don't know them niggas. And if we know them, they with us, not against us. Of course, if the Sampsons is probably somewhere in there. Yo, Kev Sampson raised us. James Sampson raised us. My peoples already know I'm not talking about them. So, matter of fact, James Sampson. Let me tell you how they robbed your son and my son. Let me tell you how Pine Forge Academy robbed your son and my son. By hiring individuals who don't know the street code, who don't know nothing about. Listen, I love Jamie Pottinger to death. I love Jamie Pottinger to death. Jamie Pottinger loved my son, loved my pops, his wife. Listen, Jamie Pottinger, listen. I love Dean Patterson. Mean well. He meant well. But when you don't know the street code, you can't come in and put the prison system street code. You can't come in here from your outside institution because this ain't your outside institution. And when you come to my institution that already has a street code where Norman Miles comes around and mentors us to make sure that when we matriculate through this system, we don't produce nothing new. And you come in and you separate and you divide and conquer that, and you tell freshmen that they can't interact with seniors. That's the most unnatural. Listen, even the world know that you got to put big brothers and big sisters together. Even the world got a big brothers and big sisters network. Even the Boys and Girls Club, everybody got a mentoring network. But we already had a homegrown mentoring network called the Family Group. And y'all gonna let some individuals tell y'all that it makes sense when the whole world know that the only way for a young shorty to grow is through mentoring. And then you lock these babies down on the wing. Listen, class of 1993, we coming in here to clean house. I'm just telling y'all straight up. Y'all done a whole lot of stuff in secret. Y'all been foul to the class of 1993. And then we the ones who been out here going out to the world, servicing the world. And y'all sacrifice Dino Tabaldo. Y'all threw him to the wolves. Y'all sacrifice Tom Wayne Belcher. Y'all sacrifice Joyce. Y'all sacrifice Say Belindo. They talking about they ain't Pine Forest material. If they ain't Pine Forest material, Allegheny East ain't Pine Forest material. Ain't nobody at the conference. If Ty Wayne Belcher ain't a Falcon, ain't none of y'all Falcons. And y'all kicked him out. So time for Ty Wayne and everybody in my class that y'all kicked out. Time for y'all to feel what they felt. Time for y'all to feel a 30-year hiatus where we tell y'all you ain't the material that represents us, because you ain't. Ty Wayne Belcher represent me. Dino Tabaldo represent me. Say Belindo is the mother of my kids. Crazy? Karen Baker died because of y'all lowering the standards. Because of y'all version of what a Falcon is, Karen Baker has died, went down to Oakwood. And because of all Adventism was sending men and women, that the standards got low. Now y'all got the church that y'all got today. But we still Falcons. You can't lower the bar on us. If you got a child at Pine Forge Academy, if you got a child at Oakwood, and you want your financial inheritance back, then you got to be side by side with us and clean house. You got to stand with our sons and daughters and our wife when we take this Nazirite vow. Joshua took a Nazirite vow. That's me and my house. And it is a marriage covenant with God. A life or death marriage covenant with God. Hannah took a life or death marriage covenant with God. If God will open up her womb and give her a son, she was specific. She didn't say a child. She said, give me a son, and I'm going to give you back the greatest prophet and priest ever. So if you want to take this Hannah vow and get your finances right, let's go.